Hello everyone and welcome to the Good Old Gamer. So it's been a little while since I've done just a regular plain Jane old video, and yeah, I was planning on doing one until January when I'm going to refocus the channel, but I decided I wanted to start a little bit early. So here in this video, I got a lot to show you guys. There's going to be major changes to the channel. I'll explain to you why, and I've already kind of started. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm working on, what we have, and just some of the fun that can still be had in gaming here today, and how profitable it actually can be, which is one of the big changes. So I want to kick this video off by talking about some of the news that's going on out there right now. That is Sony and Discovery basically showing the world that you don't actually own your digital media. This is becoming a real topic of conversation. If you're a regular here on the channel, I've been talking about this for a long time. Obviously, if the license goes away, these companies can just take away your access to things that you have bought. And this is becoming, like I said, a real topic of conversation. I personally, since we typically focus on PC stuff, have been recommending Good Old Games, GOG.com. For the longest time, all their games are DRM free. There are affiliate links down below. If you're following this news story and you're like, man, what's going on with all of this? If you want to make sure that you actually own your games, make sure you buy them on GOG on PC. That is one of the greatest places that you can buy PC. It's probably the best place where you can buy PC games or games in general. Now, the second best option for buying games, and I've said this many times on the channel, is to go with physical media on consoles, because they can't take your license away without breaking into your house and stealing things from you. Which, well, that's far more illegal than them using their, well, it's in our terms of service that we can do basically whatever we want with something that you have bought. So, yeah, that is the other option. And since this discussion is really raging, it's all over my YouTube feed. This is what a lot of people are talking about. In my Discord, this has come up. And it's very funny that this is tied directly into where I want to go personally here on this channel. If you are a longtime viewer, you'll know that this channel used to focus primarily on value. I still always recommend value options most of the time. That's usually my primary recommendation. But over the past year and a half or so, I decided to throw value completely out the window and just see how the other half lives when we just say screw it and see the value of like the super high end. I've tested out some very expensive hardware over the past few years, and there is some value there. And as our good friend Jufus loves to say, don't be poor. So for the channel, I wanted to switch things around. There's a lot going on in the world right now. The economy is completely different. A lot of people are hurting financially. That is a real issue. As mentioned, people are starting to wake up to the fact that buying anything digitally with DRM is probably not a good idea. And I kind of stumbled into a situation where we can kind of rectify both, where you can both have things physically or DRM free and make money at the same time. And this really came about when I started planning for my son. I'm going to give him an analog Super NT for this Christmas. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a modern day HDMI Super Nintendo, which is really cool. And just start giving him some of my old Super Nintendo games from when I was a kid. We'll trickle them in a few at a time. I got a whole bunch. Maybe I'll throw up some footage here of the tote that my brother has kind of held on to and even added to over the years. So there's plenty of games there. I'm going to be giving him 3. I actually bought some custom cases for him. I don't really love these custom cases. I actually found a better website. I'll actually link it down below. The guys over there is pretty cool. Those cases look a lot better. I'm going to probably switch over to those. But anyways, that's what I'm going to be giving my son, and it just kind of got me thinking, yeah, I want him to have something physical. First off, when you give somebody something, you know, there's value just in that, in the actual passing of a physical item. And then for my son, being that he's 3 years old, he has to take care of it, right? Like a cartridge can break, you can destroy it, you can actually lose it, right? If you don't take care of your things. And that's a valuable life lesson. So I always wanted him to at least have some sort of physical media device when he was young, or when he is young, so this way he can learn some life lessons. Then I also wanted him to learn that there's value in having things. You can trade it, you can sell it, and so on and so forth. And then ironically enough, I ended up going down the rabbit hole of watching a YouTube channel called Retro Rick. I'll go ahead and leave a link to his channel down below. Super interesting channel. I just stumbled across one of his videos where he's like, yeah, so, you know, we started off collecting games with a $10 bill. So he started off with a $10 budget, and then his game collection was worth like $50,000 or something. I watched like the video at the end of the series first, and then I'm like, how do you turn a $10 bill into something worth $50,000 over, I think it was like a year or two or something? I'm like, that is insane. And he goes through how he does that, and you have to be thrifty, you have to put in some effort, but if you are somebody who just really loves value, you want to get just tons of value for your money, if you got a little bit of free time, and if you just like hunting for things and finding stuff and awesome deals, wheeling and dealing, that sort of stuff, which is right up my alley. This is something that I've done ever since I was a kid, just naturally, trading like cards, you know, like X-Men cards, and I did video games. I did NES games when I was a kid. Basically, I did what he did just like 30 years ago. It just wasn't nearly as profitable way back when. However, you know, so I was just like, maybe I should give this a shot. That'd be really, really cool. With the channel here, I wanted to keep some tech stuff. I'm personally more interested right now to see if there is a market for old PC stuff. Obviously, 3DFX is a big one, and I figured I'd kind of focus in on 3DFX stuff, vintage PC gaming hardware. There's nothing more vintage and premium than 3DFX Voodoo stuff in this particular space. And I was like, okay, that's kind of where it started for me. And then I was like, well, why don't we do just like games in general? And then with all of this DRM, you know, losing your licenses, losing your games, losing access to games, which actually happened to me here recently. So I'll throw up a little bit of footage here. I was trying to play, what was it, Medal of Honor, the one that came out in 2008, and it's over here on Steam, and it just won't let me play the game. It just won't activate it anymore. I never knew it had an activation because Steam would just automatically punch the key in for me, and the game would run. I remember playing it just a couple of years ago. It doesn't work anymore. So this is a game that I bought that does not work anymore on my PC through Steam. So like this has personally affected me. So I'm like, all right, that's it, 100%. No more DRM stuff for me. So I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and start building up a physical collection, a backup collection. And this is also going to apply, at least for me, for things like DVDs and Blu-ray as well. I'm like, just the heck with this. Let me go ahead and start doing this. And then, like I said, I started watching Retro Rick, and like that channel just shows you how you can obtain all of this stuff at a very, very, very low prices and technically make money while doing it. So that's what I did. I went on vacation. We hit up some flea markets and did some stuff. I didn't really find anything there, but once we came home a few days ago, I started running around here to see what was available. And that's what I'm going to show you guys now. I'm going to show you what I picked up. I've got a couple of receipts for some of the bigger purchases. Some of the smaller ones, I don't even think I got receipts for, honestly. Like, they just didn't even give me one. I just paid cash and walked out, and they were like, all right. Or today, the guy was just like, you're good. Like, he didn't even bother offering me a receipt. But anyways, those are pretty small items. But I'm going to show you guys how much value you can get. And what's kind of funny is on this channel, we always joke about, like, don't be poor. Don't be poor. And stuff like that, which is really, really funny. That came from Ivan over at Frame Chasers, or Jufus at Frame Chasers. And so for the past year and a half, we're just like, you know, just spend $3,000-$4,000 on a graphics card. Who cares? You know, just don't be poor. Which is still technically true. There is value in just saying the heck with it. I'm just going to buy the thing that I want, regardless of the price. The value is that you have the fastest and you enjoy that and you just don't have to worry about anything. But I'm going to show you what you can do with such a small amount of money. and I actually hit some gold. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff that I found. Well, alrighty guys, this is going to kind of be a test. I'm using my phone here, so the audio quality might be a little bit different. So if this doesn't work out so good, I am planning on using a second Panasonic G7 in the future. But if this works out, this is actually kind of easier. So this little stack right here, this was the first stack that I found out in the wild. So I didn't do too good on this one. I just kind of got a little bit antsy. I picked up Call of Duty 4. This is the Game of the Year edition. It's in there. It's complete. I got it for $3. Now, the reason why I picked up this game is I personally believe that a lot of people are going to start wanting to collect these older games. And this is a game that a lot of people have nostalgia for. $3 is a pretty good price. I like the game, so that's another reason why I picked it up. I already had it on the Xbox 360, but personally, part of what I'm doing isn't just to build value, but I also want to start picking up games that I believe will be more valuable or desirable in the not too distant future. I have a feeling I'd have no problem selling this for about $5, which doesn't sound like a lot. That's only $2. But that is 67% of what we paid for it in profit. So that's actually not bad. And that's kind of the thing that you have to look at here. When you pay $3 and sell for $5, yeah, that's not a lot of money. But proportionally, that is actually quite a lot. And I don't think, maybe I can get 6 out of it and double my money. Pretty easily, I would imagine. So we got that. And then I picked up some DVDs. These are for my kids. But this was, what was this? $2. This is sealed, by the way. My kids like Shrek and these like, mini movies and stuff. So we got a, portable DVD player for the car for the kids. That thing is a godsend. So I'm going to start picking up some DVDs for them for when we're in the car. And, yeah, I can still rip this on to my Plex server as well. And a lot of these like mini movies, they're just kind of hard to find. You know, like on Blu-rays or even on DVDs. So I picked that up. It's $2. And then I found a couple Blu-rays that I used to have. I had to sell my Blu-ray collection. I was poor. I was one of the poors at one point in time, about 10, 15 years ago. I don't know. It was a while ago, but I had a huge Blu-ray collection. And I kind of want to start building it back up. So I got Black Hawk Down here, and it's $1. $1 for a Blu-ray. I mean, these things used to be like 20, 30 bucks when I was buying them back in the 2000s. So I can reacquire Black Hawk Down for $1. I was like, yeah, I'm totally going to do that. So I picked that up, and I also got SWAT. This is a kind of stupid movie. This is a dumb movie, but I enjoy it. It's one of those, like, everybody has movies that just aren't that great that they enjoy. This is one of mine. Once again, $1 for a Blu-ray. So I remember when I sold these, I think I sold them in bulk for like $4 a piece, my Blu-rays, you know, the ones that weren't like super valuable. So I sold it at $4, repurchased at $1. So yeah, obviously I was out more money when I originally sold it, but I'm getting it back a lot cheaper than what I sold it for, I guess. So my original payment, I got a little bit back on that. Next lot here, this isn't really a big deal, just more stuff I picked up for the kids. So I got this from a Salvation Army. So they do DVDs, I believe they're $2 a piece. Maybe they're like $1, $1.50. I don't know, but I got Scooby-Doo meets Batman. My kids are really into Scooby-Doo. This was $1. This is actually in the car right now. This is what they're watching. Funny enough, I was literally talking to my wife about this one, and I was telling her, this is actually a movie that I used to watch when I was a kid. My grandma had it, and then I found it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to pick that up. Kid's also big into Looney Tunes right now. Really loves his Bugs Bunny. So I was like, all right, for $1 or $2, I'll pick that up. Then I got my youngest son. He's 1. He really, really likes Elmo, and he likes singing and dancing. So I was like, all right, for like $1 or $2, we'll pick that up. All right, so this is where the more interesting stack starts coming in. So this one right here, this whole stack, so you can see, I got for $57. And yeah, so let's go through what we got in here. So this is what $57 can get you here today. All you have to do is just kind of walk around. And this is one that actually isn't all that great. So most of what's over here isn't super valuable. Most of it's actually just for us. Some of this is that, but some of this is meant for flipping, reselling, and just collecting. So anyways, starting things off, we have The Force Awakens. It's got the price on there. So this was $2. This is the Blu-ray with the DVD. Now, of the Disney Star Wars movies, this one is definitely my favorite. Now, I don't love this movie, but it's not bad. This is the only one that I'm like, it is okay. So I was like, for $2, I can pick that up. I've actually never owned that on Blu-ray. My wife picked up some stuff for the kids. Once again, these are like these little mini movies things. I forgot how much this was. She picked these up. So I don't know. What was this? This was $2, sealed. This brand new sealed. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. $5. She paid $5 for this. Okay. I wasn't there. She did the checkout. So that was not a good deal. Let's see. $5 for Rango. That's not a good deal. Okay. So next time my wife pays for her own stuff. But anyways, then I picked up this Sonic the Hedgehog. This actually shouldn't be a part of this. I forgot where I got this. I think this should be over here with this one. Now this one I picked up. Number one, Sonic's kind of cool. My kids might like it. I picked that one up potentially to sell. So DVDs and Blu-rays and movies and that sort of stuff, they can be extremely valuable if you get, you know, like the right ones. So sometimes they're hit and miss. A lot of people don't think that these have any value, but some of them, and I'll show you some of them, they're actually extremely valuable. This one, not so much. It's worth a couple of bucks. I think I paid $2. I think it's worth like $5 or $8 or something. So not a lot, but that's something we can hold on to. Anyways, back to the stack that we had over here for the $57. That was not a part of that. So I picked up some Wii U stuff, which was kind of cool. I paid a little bit more than I would have liked for these. So these were $9.35 each. So Minecraft here, this one's like $15 to $20. So that's a 50% to 100% gain, depending on, you know, the time of day, what people are going for. Surprisingly enough, these Minecraft games are actually very valuable on console. You wouldn't think that, but like, yeah, the 360 one, the Xbox, they're all reasonably valuable. So pick that one up. Next one is Super Mario World, which is really cool. Once again, they're all the $9.35. This isn't super valuable. This is actually about what this is selling for. It doesn't have the manual either, but it's just not a game that I'd seen too much of. Now, granted, I'm just starting off, but this is just a game that I don't expect to see out in the wild too often. And yeah, I figured it was worth picking up, even though it's basically what it's worth. And then I got Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, once again at the $9.35. This is about half the price. This is definitely a $20+ game. Whoop. Sorry, this is hard to do with one hand. This one is complete. So this is a $20 plus game. So right there, we doubled our money pretty easy. This is a great one for collection. So if we get our hands on a Wii U, which I sold my last one, if I get my hands on one again, well, this is a game that I'm definitely going to want for that. Okay, so now this is the good lot. So this was the big one. These I was pretty happy with. So you wouldn't think so with the pre-owned box there, but look at that, $1. $1 for LA Noire on Xbox 360. All 3 discs are in there, and she's good to go. So I was like, for $1, heck yeah. But then we also, in the same stack, were able to find Left 4 Dead for $1. This is the Game of the Year edition. This is also backwards compatible on the modern consoles. So pretty much every Xbox since the 360 can run this. That's a pretty darn good deal right there. Can't beat that for $1. And then Far Cry 3. Now, none of these games are super valuable, but if you can sell, I think this one's like $8 or so, $8, $9, somewhere around there. And this is like $5 or $7, and that's $1. That's still 5 times our money, and that's 8 times our money. If you really sit down and think about it. So these are selling for 8 times what I paid for them. So Far Cry 3 was also in that stack for $1. This one is not complete, doesn't have the manual. But this is also a game that's like, you know, a staple. Now, like I said, if people start going back to physical media and recognizing, hey, maybe we should start having these, Far Cry 3 is a good one to get your hands on. This is also backwards compatible. I think the Series X also runs this at like 60 FPS or higher. All right, so another game that I picked up, Borderlands 2 for the 360. All right, so this one is complete. This one right here, yeah, it still has the sticker. So this one we paid $3 for. Once again, this is just another game that I know people are going to get nostalgic for at some point in time. These are a lot of fun. If you get a couple old consoles and system link them, you can actually play with, I believe, up to 4 people on 2 systems in co-op with these games. So this is a game, this is kind of an investment in the future, but at $3, these are selling for like, once again, like 5 to 7. We doubled our money on that one. And then same thing with Lego Star Wars 3. $3 for this guy. Kind of the same thing. I think this is closer to about $8. This one is a Wii game. This is actually my favorite Lego Star Wars game. I did a review on it on my other channel. You can actually check it out. Gamers Armada was the channel way back when. I very much enjoyed this game. This is actually a really fun game in my opinion. I do recommend you guys play that. And then, hey, look at that. Now, this is in terrible condition. I normally probably wouldn't have picked this up. But this is mostly just to prove a point. First off, it's a limited edition version, so that kind of helped. But I normally would not have paid $3. I mean, I can just put it in a different case. But anyways, I wanted to just show you guys this will work. No problem. Meanwhile, the version that I bought on Steam, the exact same game, will not play. And it's more of a principle of the thing kind of a thing. So for $3, I can get full access to this game till the end of time. Meanwhile, on PC, you can't even play the thing. So, all right, so that's what we got. We got all of that for $57. Now, if you take out the $10 my wife spent on these guys, $10 on DVD, come on. DVDs, try to keep to like $1 or $2. Blu-rays I'm pretty okay with, up to probably about $3, even though I've scored some pretty big deals, and I'll show you guys here in a sec. But if you talk about the value here, how many games do we get? We got, I'm just going to kind of count them up. What do we got in games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. 9 games. Let's just throw those to the side. I'm not even going to count these guys over here. So 9 games, let's just say $47, right? Like, that's absolute insanity. And the consoles for these things, you can get pretty darn cheap, especially like Xbox 360s. Wii U's a little bit expensive, but Wii's are pretty darn cheap too. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys like what you can do with your money. Now, you can flip these right now. Like I said, most of these are worth probably double. Not so much on some of the Wii U's, but most of these are worth about double. So we could take that, $47 and easily turn that into a $100 bill. Yeah, it might take a little while to sell a couple of these games, but that's just absolutely insane to me that that's a thing. You can just take a $50 bill, turn it into a $100 bill. You just got to do some walking around and pick some stuff up. All right, so this one I did here today as of recording. So this is $43, which is interesting. I thought there was no tax because it was $43 flat. Apparently there is tax. I actually found this at a pawn shop, and I got them to give me all the games. See, they had labels on the side for prices, and they were ridiculous. I was about to walk out of the joint, but then I found some without labels. I'm like, how much are games without labels? And he's like, without a label, it's $4. I grabbed a whole bunch of them, and I was like, will you do 3? And they said, yeah. So I got all the games except for one for $3. And then they're having an insane deal on the Blu-rays and stuff, but we'll go over that here in a minute. So I picked up Call of Cthulhu, so for $3. This one is definitely the best deal that we got. All right, these don't really come with inserts or anything anymore. This is kind of a newer game, but I looked it up. These are going for about $17 on eBay right now. So that's what, 5 to 6 times what we paid for this. If you take out, like, I think the dude was charging shipping too. So even if you take off the eBay fees and stuff, so that's still about a 5x return on that one. So that one was really good. This one I actually bought for me. This is a game that I've been wanting to play forever. X-Men Legends. I've run it on Zemu, the Xbox emulator, a few times. It's just kind of tough for me anyways with emulated games because they're not in front of you. It's much easier for me to be like, oh yeah, I want to go ahead and play this some more with physical games. So I actually have been collecting physical games for years now personally, but this is a new collection that I'm basically building up for profit and some stuff for me. So I may keep this one. This one's not very valuable. I got it for $3. These are selling for about $8. So that's close to 3x right there. Then I picked up Epic Mickey 2. This was actually the one that got me here. So Wii U stuff to me, it's just to me, like, they're so uncommon. They sold so few. I'm like, these things are going to have to go up in value at some point. So I kind of just want to pick up as much Wii U stuff as I possibly can. But anyways, this one didn't have a label, and that's what got me to ask. I was like, so how much is this thing? Because they want like $10, $15 for all their Wii U stuff. And I'm like, I'm not paying that. Because that's more than these things are actually worth. The game's worth about 10, but I ended up getting it for 3. So tripled our money there. Mass Effect, I just picked this up once again because this is a classic game. The game is complete. It's super clean in there. I was like, all right, gotta have Mass Effect. This is a game that people are going to want, so it might not be super valuable, but if I I got it for 3. If I throw like an $8 price tag on that and, start selling games somewhere, I bet you somebody's going to give me $8 for that. Same thing with Mass Effect 3. Now, this is a game I just recently heard about. It's called Sneak King. So apparently, you're the Burger King guy, and you go around and like scare people. Like, to me, this is just like a super goofy sort of game. So I was like, for $3, I mean, it's in great shape. It's complete. I was like, I'm gonna take a risk on this one. This one's not worth anything. So this was a swing and a miss. I think it's only worth about $5. Once again, when you think about it, that's still pretty good. This is just such a goofy game. Maybe we'll play it here on the channel. It's like, why did Burger King make a video game? I don't know, but I thought because it was so oddball-like that it would have value. I was wrong. It's not valuable, but it's kind of fun. And then this is a game I picked up for my kids. If you guys don't know, I am a Christian, and I'm trying to educate my kids in Christian values. So the Bible game I knew was on Xbox for a long time. This one was a marked game. This is how they mark their games. I was going to buy it for 10 anyway, just because this is a game that I want to have for my kids. It is in great shape. It's complete. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just pay the $10 on this one. They're going to give me a deal on these, right? I'm like, I'll throw them a bone. They ended up giving it to me for $7 because I bought a whole bunch of stuff. So I was like, that's awesome. So that just means I'm going to go back there and buy more stuff from them. So it's customer loyalty. Box is a little roughed up. But I have no idea what this game is about. I just figured it'd be kind of fun. This is something that I wanted to try out, see if it's any good. But I wanted this for my kids for a while. So got that. Okay, so moving on to the movies. So Blu-rays, they have all of their Blu-rays $1. All of them. I was blown away by that. I guess one of the other stores in the chain, because there's another one here in town, is doing Blu-rays for $1, and they're like, we'll match what they're doing. The guy was like, I can't believe they're doing that. There's no way. They're losing money on these. Anyways, this one I took a shot on. I was like, I have no idea what this is. I know some of these like weird, creepy, obscure movies have value. This one's a Blu-ray. I was like, I'll take a shot for $1. A shot and I missed. That one's worthless. I have no interest in this. I mean, if you guys message me and you're like, hey, I'll take it and I'll pay the shipping or something, you can just have it. If you want me to just send the disc, because it's not worth anything. We could save money just by sending the disc. I picked up the Avengers. This is more for me. I obviously sold my copy years ago. Got the Blu-ray and the DVD. So this way, if the kids want to watch it in the car, we have the DVD. And yeah, I just picked this up because it's $1 and to rebuild my collection. So this is for me personally. That's not worth a whole bunch of money. But yeah, I was just like, for $1, why not? I'm actually probably going to pick up a ton more Blu-rays from these guys. Anyways, now we're getting into some of the surprise stuff. So they had a lot of superhero movies kind of bundled together. and I figured those were probably decently valuable. So I got this Superman Collector's Edition Blu-ray, and by the way, they gave me this for $1. I'll show you the ones that they charge more for here at the end, but for $1, I got this guy. This guy's selling for about 18 to 20 bucks right now on eBay, something like that. So that is 18 to 20 times our investment return on this one. Now, I specifically bought these mostly for the kids. I'm like, yeah, old Superman cartoons, that's real cool. But that guy right there, we sell him, and if we sell this guy, we get all the rest of this for free and make profit. So that right there, like I said, that's $18 to $20. And then this guy right here, Spider-Man. Everybody loves Spider-Man. And this thing is pristine. This thing has, let me open this up. Still got the little silly insert, all the discs. It looks like it's never even been used. Like, this is in great shape. Got this for $1. This is selling for $45. I'm going to go back to this. That's what we paid for all of these. That's $45 right there. So we do that and that, we're now into profit, and we're actually starting to pay off some of these other things over here. Once again, if my wife didn't overspend, we might be okay. Anyways, she's probably listening to me right now going, oh, shut up. Doesn't matter. You know, it's one of those things where you're like, $5 for a movie, that's perfectly fine. That's how most people think. Nobody thinks that you can get stuff like this for $1. Apparently you can. Which is why I'm doing this video for you guys. And we're going to kind of keep doing this sort of stuff to kind of hammer it home. Now, this I got for my kids, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is going for about $8. Got it for $1. Case is a little roughed up. Anyways, this is one I basically just picked up for us. This was part of that like superhero collection. I just grabbed like all of them because I'm like, Blu-rays, superhero stuff probably has some value. Winner, winner, chicken dinner on these guys. This one, it's about $5 to $8, like $5, $7 maybe. Nothing crazy. This one doesn't really look like it's too good for kids. Same thing with this one. So I'm not too thrilled picking these two up. Maybe I'll just let them go super cheap, make a couple bucks off of them. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch them, see if they're any good. This is kind of in the same boat. And then we got some Batmans. These are real cool. Kid likes Batman. That's why we did Batman Scooby-Doo. These are doing all right. These are about $8 right now. You got the Blu-ray, you got the DVD and everything. So not super valuable, but once again, 8 times our money. Like that's the part you got to really kind of wrap your mind around. And when I say 8 times your money, I'm talking about like this is like what they're going for on eBay right now. Buy now, and I'm taking out like shipping. So I guess you could say maybe you'll make a little bit less because you'll have like the 15-20% eBay fees. But still, $8 or same sort of deal on this one. Now these guys, I wanted to highlight these specifically because this is a learning experience. So I found this thing and I'm like, what is this? And it says X-Men: The Complete Animated Series. I was like, oh, that looks really cool. So I jumped on eBay, and I was like, all right, how much is X-Men Blu-ray Complete Series going for? And there wasn't a lot that popped up, but there was only like, the cheapest one was like $45. Now, this is a series. They wanted $5 for these, right? So I'm like, okay, well, if this is worth like at least $45, because I didn't scroll all the way to the bottom, I'm like, so this is worth at least that, because I didn't see this one. I saw another one. And I was like, it's worth at least $45. I'll pick it up. And I was like, man, that's really cool. And then, you know, like discs are in there and everything's like, it looks a little weird, but I thought it was just kind of some sort of weird series. And then we have this one here, X-Men Evolution. This is a real thing. Same kind of deal, you know, everything's in there. It looks really cool. There's nothing here, but it says disc 1, and like it just keeps going, like disc 2, disc 3. I just thought maybe there was a, you know, just a weird case. All right, turns out I forgot these back, and I flipped them over. I'm like, where's the UPC? There's no UPC on this one. There's no UPC on this one. The reason why I couldn't find this one is because it's not a real thing. Now, this one does exist. They do have a real one. but this isn't it. So these are bootlegs. These are really high quality bootlegs. I don't know if it's coming through, but like these look really nice, right? To the point where I was like, nobody's gonna go to all this effort. I don't even know what these are. I'm gonna check them out, but I'm gonna go back and see if I can get my $10 back. So of that 47, this is about 20% of that, or 43. It was 43. So this is almost 25% of what we spent is on these. I thought I hit jackpot. I thought 45 on that one, and I figured that one would be at least 45 as well. So I was like 10 for like 90. So that'd be a 9x on our money. That'd be really, really cool. Not the case. Obviously not the case. So yeah, I'm gonna go back, see if I can get some store credit and get some other stuff. If not, I'll check them out. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this is some sort of like downloaded like X-Men, the animated series. Maybe the AI upscaled it or something and burned it. I don't know what it is, but it might be kind of cool to hang on to it if that's what it is. Now, granted, I can't sell this, not legally, but if it's something really cool, I might just hold on to it. I still got to check it out, but I'm thinking I might see if I can get my money back if it's, you know, just not worth the $10. But anyways, going back to these guys, even with my mistake, if I sell these two off, if I sell that one off, we're basically flat. And then if we do that one, that helps cover some of these guys. And then that just means all of this, let's go back over here. All of that, not only is it free, there's profit there. And then if I sell that Call of Cthulhu, we're looking at like $40. So you get all of that and make about 40-ish bucks. I think I'm going to hold on to this guy for a little bit because there's only one on eBay right now for sale. And there's only 2 available left on Amazon to buy new. So they're going for $25 new. So that's the ceiling as of right now. But if there's not a lot of copies out there and they run out, this will jump to 25 used if new kind of just dries up. So I have a feeling that's going to be pretty valuable considering there's only one used on eBay right now. So I don't think that they sold very well, even though I actually heard some good stuff about that. So anyways, that was the big one for today. Sorry about that. And then I stopped by the Salvation Army on the way home, and I picked this one up. We were joking that one of our friends would probably buy any sim stuff off of me if I picked it up. And I was like, all right. I mean, the games there are $3. It's just like a flat rate. So I was like, all right, I'll pick it up. It's worth about $8. It's another one of those games I think like somebody who's feeling nostalgic for like the old days, or maybe they want to get something for their kids and kind of play some older games, show their kids like what games used to be. I think that might be one. So I have a feeling that that'll actually sell, not be like worth a lot of money, but I think that'd be easy to move. And then I picked up some more Scooby-Doo for the kids. And then there was this guy right here. So I thought I hit another one with this guy. So I couldn't find this at all on eBay. And then I started worrying because I didn't see the UPC on here. I was like, uh-oh, did it happen again? It's like, no, that's a real DVD. That, you know, like, I've never seen that bootleg. It actually is a real DVD. This is a real movie. I eventually found it. It's got an awful score. But for like $1 or $2, whatever I paid for it, it was a gamble. I swung and missed on this one. That one's not worth anything. But because I couldn't find it on eBay, I'm like, that means it's either really, really rare or so bad nobody ever wanted it. Turns out it was just so bad nobody ever wanted it. So if you happen to want this and you want to pay the shipping, you let me know. You can have it. So alrighty guys, this is definitely a different video. This is a totally different direction than this channel normally goes, but it does tie into pretty much everything that I've been talking about over the past, I think we're coming up on 8 years, 2016. Yeah, we're coming up on 8 years in a few months, which is value, Techonomics, which is the other channel that I do with Paul from Not an Apple Fan. Links are down below. Subscribe over there. We always talk about the financials of things. We talk about money quite a bit. So it's tying that in. Obviously, there's video games, there's movies, there's a lot of nostalgia. I'm a big fan of all of that sort of stuff, and going physical is another alternative option to, you know, things like streaming and just basically your ownership of things. And you can go ahead and acquire a lot of this stuff, as I just showed you, for very cheap. And if you go ahead and get lucky, or if you kind of know what you're looking for, or if you start searching for some stuff, you can actually get a lot of this stuff technically for free. You sell off some of the things that are more valuable. Maybe even if you kind of want it, you can go ahead and let those go, but then you get everything else for free, or you can even turn a profit. So this actually will help you guys out. It make a couple extra bucks. You can go ahead and gain your collection, get your ownership of this stuff back. So if you're somebody who's out there spending like 50 bucks a month on streaming services, just cancel all of that crap and go ahead and just start picking stuff up on the cheap and start rewatching some old stuff. There's plenty of things out there that you haven't watched before. You don't need to see the new thing, because there's plenty of old things that you've never seen before that might be better or just good enough, and you can get them dirt cheap. And then once again, if you're done with them, let's say you watch the movie and you're like, I don't like this. Like this thing right here, you know, I can give it to somebody else. Maybe somebody else will enjoy it. I can try to sell it for $1. Maybe somebody will pick it up. I could even take this out and use the case for maybe a better movie or something that, you know, could use the case. It's a nice case. The case is in good shape. So, like, there's just value there when you actually have the thing. Now, as I've mentioned before, GOG on PC is probably the best solution. But, as mentioned, like with Medal of Honor, that's not on GOG. So, if you want to have access to as much content as is possible, having kind of a hybrid approach is what I do. And I recommend you guys do as well. But I'm super excited to get into this. What I really would like to do, the end goal here, is I would like to set up like a flea market kiosk, go out, pick up games, play them. That's something that we're going to start doing here on the channel. Probably start doing that on the live streams, some of the games that we pick up, stuff that maybe you guys are unaware of, some older games. Play them live, see if they're fun. You know, if there's fun games out there that you can get for a couple of bucks, why wouldn't you go do that? So that's something that we're definitely going to start doing here. And yeah, we're going to kind of keep track of the P&L, how much I put in, how much we get back. And I can show you guys that you can actually build a massive game library. And if you do it right, it won't cost you anything. Now, you can go ahead and watch Retro Rick. He's actually the guy that I was watching. He kind of gave me the basic pointers, but some of the stuff that I found out was make sure that everything has a UPC on the back. That's pretty important. So that's kind of a life lesson there. So that's something you don't have to find out for yourself. And yeah, the other big lesson that I learned here today, when you go into a pawn shop or anywhere that they can negotiate prices, try to bundle stuff up. And then don't be afraid to take advantage of good deals, and also don't be afraid to take some gambles. You know, if you're talking about just a few dollars here or there, you know, like I did with that horror movie thing, it was $1. I swung, I missed. It's not the end of the world. But you know, I took a chance on just grabbing that superhero pile. I was like, basically, I was there for a long time. They were about to close, so I couldn't just go online and check everything I was looking at. I just figured superhero stuff, Blu-rays, it's got to be worth more than $1. Turns out I was right. So just applying some common sense to the situation will usually help you out. That's definitely something that I learned here today. But yeah, in terms of the channel, like for me, this is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I've technically made money. If I sold all of this off, I am far richer than I was before acquiring all of this stuff. Obviously today I'm showing you a lot of the stuff that we're keeping for ourselves. In the future, I'll try to separate that stuff out, and we'll just go for stuff that I'm collecting, not from a personal perspective, but things that I want to hold on to increase value over time. Speaking of which, there's one thing I forgot to show you guys that I did pick up for that exact reason. Let me go get it. For you PC guys out there, we got this guy right here. So I picked this up before I went on vacation. So I got, for this collection, the first 3DFX Voodoo card. This is a 3DFX Voodoo 3 1000. So it doesn't have the heatsink on there. That's how you know it's the 1000. And we got the AGP 3.3 volt on there. I have a Pentium 3 600 that was donated to me by my buddy Austin. So shout out to Austin. It was actually his grandma's old PC. He's like, hey, you want to just rip this apart, see if there's anything you want? Yeah, the motherboard, slot 1 motherboard with a Pentium 3 600. I was like, that'll come in handy at some point. Ba-bing! It's a perfect pairing for this guy right here. So this I got for $60, and I got this on eBay. And you don't see 3DFX graphics cards under $100 very often. Actually, this was 90 or 100 or I don't know. They had some much higher price on there, but they had the make an offer button, and this was just listed. I think it was less than an hour on eBay, and I was like, I'll do 60. With taxes and shipping, it came out to being like $72 or $73. Still well below $100. I can go ahead on eBay right now and put this up for $120, and it will sell. So that means I've already doubled my money or thereabouts at this point in time in terms of value. That is basically what I've been doing in the background of the channel over these past 7-8 years. I've been buying things, collecting things, sitting on things, putting prices that I want them to sell for, or waiting until they got to a certain price point. That's the same sort of logic that's going to apply with these games. And with everything going on right now with this discussion with Sony and people waking up to the fact that buying things digitally is not actually buying things, you're just renting them for an unspecified amount of time, I believe the interest in physical media is going to start skyrocketing, and these insane deals that we're seeing right now may start disappearing. It seems like a lot of places right now think that digital is the future, and I believe for a lot of people it will be. But I believe for a lot of other people, they're going to go the other direction. I think there's going to be a large enough amount of people that go, no, I'm going to want to start picking this stuff up, that the value of them is going to start going up here into the not too distant future. Now, what we want to do is we want to take advantage of that situation. People are selling low, and I have a feeling they're going to start buying high in the not too distant future. I could be wrong on that one, but as I just showed you, you can already make money as is, but I believe interest will go up. They may go higher. If they do, great. If not, it's not the end of the world. But that's going to go to funding stuff like this, really cool stuff like this. Personally, I really do want to collect a lot of the 3DFX stuff, as I believe it's one of the few items in the PC space, which the channel is primarily focused around, that will go up in value in perpetuity. These will never really go down. They'll go up and down. It'll kind of stair step a little bit with the economy. You know, if everybody's got money and getting checks from the government, the price on these things are going to go up because they'll just buy stuff that they don't need. Now, when money gets tight and the economy's tight, prices go down. Right now, the economy is tight, which means if you have a few bucks in your pocket, you want to go out, you want to be a buyer. This is when you want to start buying things, because people are going to start letting things go that they spent significantly more money on because they need the cash. So by going ahead and taking advantage of the situation, you can turn a profit here, and that can easily turn into graphics cards. Just as an example, selling these two nets this. So that's just a perfect example of the situation. Now, granted, you know, that's, I got real lucky on that Spider-Man, of course, but, you know, if I tallied up a bunch of the other ones, it's kind of the same sort of thing. So you can use one thing to get other things that you may want. So that's really kind of what I'm going to be doing here until the economy changes, till things changes. You know, if everybody starts getting stimulus checks again, or, you know, the inflation goes down completely or something massive happens, and, you know, instead of being a buyer, you know, we want to become sellers. You know, hopefully I have enough stuff to sell, and I can show you guys like what we can do with that. So that's kind of where we're going to be going here. It's on the channel. It's going to be a little bit more money focused, a little bit more profit driven. The goal for me personally is I want every 3DFX graphics card complete in box. That's the goal. I picked this one up because this is a great deal, and honestly, not complete in box. So I'm not going to keep this. But yeah, if I can double my money on this, it's going bye-bye. The last 3DFX card that I sold, I made 5x my money on, and the one before that I made 10x. So these are good investments. If you're like, I just really like PC stuff, that's awesome. You can do that. You're not going to find a lot of deals on these. You're going to just have to keep checking. There's not a lot of volume. If you go with something like consoles, DVDs, things like that, cheaper items, that's going to go a lot faster. So, you know, if you build up $5 here, $5 there, that's just going to help you in the long run with stuff like this. That's just my thought process. But anyways, this is a long video. You know, like I said, the channel's almost 8 years old. This is a completely different direction for the channel. But it really does tie into basically everything that I've talked about. So it's kind of the culmination of everything, in my opinion. And I'm having a blast. If you guys want me to maybe record while I'm out in the field, you know, like while I'm searching, it's a little weird because a lot of these places are like really quiet, and just being that weirdo talking to yourself, it's like, hey, look at this. And I know Rick does that on his videos. If you go check out his channel, I probably would just more record, hey, this is what we picked up. This, you know, maybe I'll show you where we are or something. I don't know. But, you know, like I could show you like when I go back to the car, and instead of doing like a whole bunch of stuff, you know, like it'll just be like a short little clip. I don't know, but you guys let me know what you guys think. But for me, this is going to be the focus moving forward. If you're in the Discord, if you have any questions, if you want to get started, that's one of the benefits. You can chat with me directly. Feel free to shoot me a message. Be like, hey, you know, where should I get started? And I can kind of give you what I did over the past, I guess you could say almost a week now. I'm not trying to be like I'm an expert or anything, but I kind of learned a lot. You learn a lot very quickly, let's put it that way. That I can say. So I can kind of steer you towards what seems to be working for me. Every area is going to be a little bit different, what resources you have available, stuff like that. But, you know, that's a benefit if you want to chat with me about that. If you're in the Discord, if you want to join the Discord, you can do that by clicking on the join button down below, or becoming a Patreon member. Links are down below. That gets you access to the Discord for both my channel and Paul from Not an Apple Fan, so you can go ahead and do that. Also, make sure you subscribe over to the Techonomics podcast. That is linked down below. That's my second channel where I go live on Mondays with Paul, and we do have guests on from time to time. So we do talk a lot more about tech, PC stuff on that channel, but it's primarily focused on things like value and things of that nature. But it also kind of ties into everything if you're kind of interested in that sort of stuff. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. This is a super long video. Hopefully it doesn't take me forever to edit. I'll try to make these a lot shorter in the future, but I think we're going to do one video a week. I'll kind of go over what I found, where we're at, what's the sort of value of things. Alrighty, guys, that'll do it for me here today. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below of the changes. Do you like this? Do you not? I mean, if you don't, I'm sorry, this is the way we're going. But if there's some ways that I could change things, make things more entertaining, let me know what you guys think down there. But I want to thank you all for your support. Just realized that we're at like the 7.5 year mark for the channel. I want to thank all of you guys for that. And I will catch you guys in the next video.